Hey, what's up, guys? Scavenger Reviews here, and I picked up Superman. This is the Superman 5 film collection from Walmart. It's got the extended edition of the first movie, I'll just let you read it, the Donner cut of the second movie, and then 3, 4, and Superman Returns. And, I have never seen any of these. There's like something shaking around in there. Don't you hate it when like your box like breaks apart, got a little piece of plastic? Anyways, though, I've never seen any of them except for Superman Returns, and from what I hear, is that's like the worst one, you know. Though I'm sure it has its fans probably. But anyways, I'm going to watch them for the first time because Superman is one of those things, like as a concept, who is, well, as a character, he is the epitome of cultural osmosis. You know, which, if you don't know what that is, cultural osmosis is just simply when you take in something like from, just popular culture and stuff like that. Like, for instance, is that the guy from Fortnite? That's cultural osmosis. You recognize something, but you don't necessarily have to interact with the product that it comes from. You know, uh, or is that the guy from Family Guy or something? I don't know. But anyway, well that yeah, like Peter Griffin's in Fortnite, but if you've never watched an episode of Family Guy, you still know who Peter Griffin is. That's Superman for me. Because I have watched Superman Returns and I've watched Man of Steel, which both of those movies are very divisive when it comes to fans, I know. Um However, I've seen bits and pieces on YouTube of Superman, like the old movies. Like I know in the second movie when he goes to fight Zod, he throws like the cellophane S. I know that from Family Guy actually, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell was that?" And he's like, "Slowed you down, didn't it?" And it's like, "Yeah, that was a minor inconvenience." So I'm pretty excited to get to that scene. I'll probably be like, "Oh, whoop, whoop, yeah, there it is, there it is." I'll probably get excited. But no, like I've watched clips on YouTube of like the animated movies because even like the like animated stuff, I didn't really watch many of like the Justice League shows growing up, or and what sucks is I was the peak target audience. I don't know, it just never really interested me, and probably because Superman Returns, I don't remember much from that movie. I just remember how boring of a movie it was. I'm sorry, Superman Return fans, if you're out there, but like it's boring. The only things I remember that, and to be fair, I watched it when I was a kid, so maybe I was not focusing on the character rich development and the deeper lining of the plot and stuff like that. But the things I remember from that movie was the giant island in the middle of like the ocean, and then before that, like it's like the middle of the film. There's the where he lands a plane in a baseball stadium. I always thought that was pretty cool, and I like Superman. Like I would say I'm a fan, but like I said, it's very cultural osmosis for me because I didn't watch the animated movies or the animated shows. I've seen tons and tons of clips of Superman, and I understand like who he is as a character, and I'm not even one of those people who are like, Superman's boring because he's so powerful. No, because he's so powerful, that's what makes him so interesting. Because he has, like, this is a god. Like he can absolutely ruin this and to like destroy everything. But he's just a guy like born and raised in Kansas or wherever he's. I think it's Kansas, right? I don't know, Smallsville, but Smallsville is in Kansas. I don't know, man. I'm just saying he's a down home country boy, and he's just a good guy, and that's what makes him interesting. So I'm excited. And, I've got some time. I got a date later tonight, but that's not until 7, and it's 1, so I figure I got some time. I'll crack open a movie, watch Superman. Specifically the expanded, not extended, expanded edition. That's what it is on here. Now, I won't be able to watch like the original cut, but I think I'm fine with that. I don't know how people feel about these. I know I've heard that the Richard Donner cut for Superman 2 is like vastly superior to the point where people say like don't even watch the original, just watch the Donner cut. Maybe. What's with it with DC movies having like cuts of films that make the other cut look terribly bad, like Batman v Superman, which is another movie with Superman I've seen. I hate that movie though. I mean, it's got its moments, but I hate that movie. Anyways, though, yeah, I've yapped on for long enough. Let's get into it. So, I'm literally 2 minutes and 41 seconds into the film, but I would just like to say I miss long title sequences, long intro sequences to movies. Like, give us that back, man. Like, we need it back. Give us that back. Long intro sequences, they set the tone of the film. You see all the different names. Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner, or whatever his name was, I already forgot. But you see all the names. Not to mention the theme. I'm not gonna play it for like fear of copyright, but the do 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 do, that's it. That shit slaps. I've always loved the theme of Superman. Again, Superman is one of those things that's like always existed around me, but I've just never really partaked too much in. Like I said, I've seen Superman Returns, and I've seen Man of Steel, and then the subsequent movies that like Henry Cavill shows up in, and I am excited. Yes, actually excited to go see the new Superman movie. You know, that may or may not be the reason I'm making these videos to like, coincide with the release of that film, maybe. But I'm just saying like I'm excited, and I'm checking out this one. One fun fact though, I do know about this film. Again, through cultural osmosis, but during like the press conference of either this movie or the next movie, one of these movies, when Christopher Reeve was Superman, a young boy brought his dad's gun to like a press conference and wanted to shoot Superman, Christopher Reeves. This is real life now. This actually happened. He wanted to shoot Christopher Reeves because he truly believed that he was Superman. Because he was like a young boy. I'm talking like 5 or whatever, or 6 or whatever. Or something like that. And the only way, like, he could. Because in that moment, you don't want to say, like, Santa Claus isn't real. I'm not Superman. Superman is a character. You know, the only way he could talk the boy down from shooting him, which would kill him, because again, this is real life, was if you shoot me, the bullet could bounce off and hit someone innocent. And then that was the only way he could get the little boy to not shoot him. Which, like, wow. Could you imagine if Christopher Reeve was not successful? Like, his career just ends from getting shot by, like, a 10-year-old boy. That'd be insane. That'd be insane. Thank God it didn't. Anyways. Okay, since when is Zod in the first movie? I thought Zod was all in the second movie. I mean, I know, like I said, I've never seen these, so, like, I'm kind of on, like, hold on, let me pause that. Anyways, I know I've seen, like, I don't know stuff, but I don't. But anyways, since when is Zod in the first movie? I thought he was in the second movie. I don't know. I'll keep watching. I'll keep watching. Anyways, I would like to make a little quick shout out. Hi, Mima. I'm gonna send this to you, and I'll keep the cussing down just for you, because you have always instilled like a serious love of Superman. I know how much you love Superman, and I'm finally watching these movies, and I'm gonna go watch that new one when it comes out in theaters, and it's all thanks to you. Love you, Mima. Another weird thing is he says Krypton. Like, he doesn't say Krypton, how it's like always said nowadays, I guess. I don't know if it's a modern thing, if it's a this thing, that thing, if it's just the way this particular actor says it. Who knows? It could be a like Han Solo situation instead of Han Solo, but he's saying Krypton. Like your hatred of mankind has threatened even the children of Krypton. It's like, who's Krypton? What Krypton are we talking about? Krypton? Oh, you mean Krypton? please try to ignore just how bad the reflection is. This is a blanket I have. Believe it or not, it actually works. Anyways, this is another thing I love about old movies. Like, this is a real object. They actually built this. Like, this is a miniature model, and, this is on Krypton or whatever. But, like, this is real. They built that object. That is a real object, and I love that. Bring back physical models. Boy, could you imagine running into that table? I mean, I know it's just like sci-fi set design, gotta make it magical and spacey and sci-fi, blah blah blah. But like, look at that table. Could you imagine running into that in the middle of the night? Like you get up to go to the bathroom and you decide on your way back, I'm gonna make myself a glass of water, I'm kinda thirsty. And then boom, there's your spleen. No, not your spleen, that's on your back. There's your kidney just shoved into a crystal. Like, oh my god. Yo, watch this, watch this. Did he just. Yep, baby. Did he just put kryptonite in the pod with him? Oh, also. So that's not like a dinner table, that's the like asteroid ship thing that they're gonna send Superman in. But seriously, why would he do that? Like, what is the motivation? Like, if that is kryptonite, I mean, it's a green crystal. What else could it be? But like, why would he send kryptonite with him, his little son Kal-El, you know, in the pot? Why would he do that? I mean, I guess like the movie's gonna. I don't know. Watch the movie, Tyler. I know, but I guess the movie's gonna try to say like, oh, so it's to remember where he came from and to remember that he is vulnerable in his humanity or whatever. Blah blah blah. But like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna send my son, to go live in another country or whatever. Oh, by the way, before you go, little Jimmy, here's some plutonium. I want you to have this. Like what is the motivation there? I don't understand. Okay, so turns out that green thing was not kryptonite. That was just a build your own fortress of solitude seed. Just one of them planting, plop it down in water and watch it grow. So, okay. And of course, somehow, Clark just knew to do this. Like, just went out into, like, literally the Arctic Circle and just knew how to do this. But hey, whatever. I ain't complaining. I gotta say, I am loving everybody's reaction to Superman. Like, it's so confusing and everybody's just filled with bewilderment, Like, I'm getting into the part where, like, so Lois Lane, she was in the helicopter and the helicopter starts to fall and, he gets into a Superman costume and he saves her, you know? There we go. And he saves her. And that's great. And now they're just kind of doing, like, it's not quite a montage. It's like a slow montage, I guess you'd call it, because they are focusing on certain scenes. And everybody is just so befuddled and confused. It's just like, like for instance, okay, there's the robber who, oh my god, he doubled down. So earlier in the film, right, there's this guy who tries to rob Lois Lane and Clark Kent, and Clark Kent is doing his Clark Kent act and acting all like, oh no, Mister, you shouldn't do that. You should turn your life around. He's doing one of those, and he makes a joke and he's like, you know what, Mister, you're right. I'm gonna turn my life around. He actually didn't, and he doubled down, and he's got like some Mission Impossible like suction cups going up a building, and Superman is just standing there like perpendicular to the building like this, and it's great because he looks at him, and Superman just goes like, "Is there a problem with the elevator?" And then the guy like falls backwards because he's so stunned, and he gets caught out of the air. And this robber guy does not say a word. He just like gets caught by Superman. Superman flies him down to the ground and is like, "Officer, I believe confession is good for the soul, and you might want to listen to this guy, what he has to say. And he pulls out some like jewelry that the guy had robbed. And the robber does not say a word. He's just like that, just like, did I just did I just get turned in to a police officer by a man in red tights? In red and blue tights? Is that what happened to me? He's just, and then there's like these guys on a boat that are like committing crime, and like, they are also just completely stunned and shocked. I love, it feels so genuine. It feels just like everybody is just like, also ignore the there's like construction going on where I live, so ignore that. But everybody's just so confused, and I love it. And right here, there's these people on the plane, and it's Air Force One, like the most important plane. Well, not the most important plane, but like a very important plane. You know, and the engine goes out from lightning strike, and then Superman comes up and like grabs one side of it, and then looks over at the pilot and just gives him a wave, and the pilot like goes to wave back, and he's like, am I waving to a guy right now? Like, he doesn't say this, but he's thinking in his head, am I waving to a man right now in red and blue spandex holding up the side of the plane? And he turns to the other pilot and he's like, just fly. Don't look. I'm not going to explain what's out there. Just fly. And I love it. This is insane. I mean, everybody's just so genuinely confused. Just like, it's great. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, like, kind of dark, but like super, like Clark, Kal-El talking to his dad right now. It's kind of like, I remember hearing like cases of people who are making AI programs of their loved ones so that they can talk to their loved ones after they pass, and like uploading the AI with all of their personality traits and stuff like that. That's kind of what he's doing right now. Like, this is a program, or like a hologram, or, well, same thing. But anyways, it's not his dad. His dad's dead. Like, capital DEA dead. DEA dead. He blew up in a star. He's talking to a hologram right now of his father, and his father is like responding to him as his father would, but it's not his dad. It's kind of dark. It's kind of sad. Like, sorry, man. I'm sorry. Girl, Lois, she is laying it on thick. Like, she's not even like like, she's trying to stay professional and asking him interview questions, and like every 5 seconds she's like, "So what you doing tonight?" Like, she is laying it on thick. Oh my god. Okay, so I just finished watching it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. See, I've heard so much over the years about this film that it kind of created this weird effect where I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this happening in this movie that I've never seen before." For instance, um, Superman just rewinds time in this, and there we go. Superman just rewinds time in this, and apparently that's just like a thing he can do. And I know that happened, but I thought it happened like in like one of the later movies. And I know one of the movies he like uses his vision to rebuild the Great Wall of China. They were just playing it fast and loose in these movies, is what I'm saying. But what I'm saying though is like they did that in the very first movies. They're gonna start that, why doesn't he use it every time argument real quick, because like, why doesn't he do that every time? Oh, because it's forbidden. Well, clearly he doesn't care. Clearly he's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's gonna Superman where he's gonna Superman, which is fine. Which is fine. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it kind of was a little confusing. But again, so many of these scenes I've seen before or heard about before, so I was kind of like remembering, but not remembering. I was like, oh yeah, this is where this happens, this is where that happens. But it's a really good movie. I like it. I'm very pleased with it. I don't know if I'd say I love it, but I think it was alright. It was very good. Can't wait to watch the other ones. I'm probably not going to watch it. I'm probably not going to watch the other ones before I watch the new one. Just cause, I don't know, just cause, you know, I'm probably going to watch the new movie soon, and then I'll get back into watching these movies. Because I don't like to binge movies back to back. I like to give movies time to sit and settle. You know what I'm saying? When you watch movies back to back to back, it makes you look at them all as one whole mass rather than being like each movie individual. You know what I mean? At least that's how I feel. That's how I feel. That's also why I don't mind like the few times I actually do watch TV shows, because I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I'm not really a TV guy. I'm a movie guy. The few times I have watched TV shows, I don't mind the weekly, new episodes Sundays, new episodes Mondays, whatever. I don't mind that because it gives each episode time to wait. But that being said, wrap it all up. Good movie. Good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Um, yeah. I don't know, maybe it was just like kind of like amazing at the time, but still pretty good now. And I can't wait to watch the new one. And I'll make a video on that too, of course. I'll make a video on all of these. So yeah. Uh I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye Mima. Love you. And yeah, check me out on Scavenger Reviews. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, all that stuff you're supposed to do. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.